Good morning, everyone. My name is Tanaya, and welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a while since I actually sat down and did a full video, but that's because I've been working with school. I also have a job that I do full time and a baby. So I've been really backed up with a lot of things, but that's okay because it's summer now, right? I passed all my classes. Now I get to put YouTube on the front burner instead of the back burner. I definitely want to find some time to continue to do YouTube videos though, because I really do. I miss doing them. I miss being able to like just rant into a screen, right? But for today's video, we're gonna have a story time. Okay, we're gonna have a story time, and it's gonna be about my water bottle. As you can see, it's just a water bottle. I decided to bring this water bottle to school, right? If you can't tell, I have stickers on here. Michael Knowles Show, The Ben Shapiro Show, and The Matt Walsh Show. I also, I went and got these actually, all of these stickers at a Candace Owens live show when she was still doing it live. I don't think she does it live anymore. She doesn't do it live anymore, but I do have a sticker of hers, but it's on the back of my phone. But it's going to be about my water bottle and how my water bottle caused a massive debate on my campus between me and another student because he saw this specific sticker, this Matt Walsh sticker. So I'm super excited to get into it and just talk about the points that this kid had and even respond to some of the points because we really didn't have enough time. You know, that was our last day of school. We were doing finals and we had time to debate. We just didn't really have enough time to really get our ideas out there. I felt like we was obviously being rushed because school was ending, you know what I'm saying? But I'm really excited to get into the story because I'm excited to hit on the points that he said and continue to elaborate on my beliefs and what I believe in, right? So let's just get into it. So I do have a piece of paper of some of the things I wrote down that I remember that he said. It was a little bit confusing to try to keep up with just because the kid was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You know, leftists can't really stay on one topic. They have to like hit everything in one sentence and it's just so weird. And he just didn't make sense. But the first point he did bring up was why do I like Matt Walsh and why don't I hate watch him? If I did not like Matt Walsh, okay, this sticker would not be on this water bottle. It just wouldn't be. You don't buy merch from somebody that you don't like. It's just as simple as that. Like, if I don't like your shit, I don't like your shit. I'm not going to buy nothing from you. I'm not even going to watch your content or anything like that. If I don't like your shit, I don't like your shit. That's just as simple as that. And plus, the reason why I do, if he really wants an answer to his question, it's because Matt Walsh lives in reality. Like Ben Shapiro, and Michael Knowles, and Candace Owens, and Brett Cooper. All those people at Daily Wire lives in reality. They don't have this crazy made-up idea in their heads of how utopian the world could be one day. No, they live in reality, and they know how reality works. And I like that. I like people who believe in truth and not some made up fantastical lie. You know what I'm saying? Because it does nothing to people to lie to them. You know, it does nothing for them. It does nothing for you. Sometimes it does do something for you, especially if you're gaining from it, which is why I feel like, I don't know, I feel like a lot of people have been lied to so much that telling the truth seems offensive now. So yeah, I don't hate watch people because I think it's stupid. I watch to learn or I watch to be able to disprove. I can give a perfect example. Like, I really don't like Harry and Meghan. I think they are crazy, spoiled. That's another video on its own, but I don't like Harry and Meghan. Let's just leave it at that. Don't like Harry and Meghan, but I did watch their Netflix documentary series. I didn't hate watch it, but I watched it just to see what I can learn from them and just to see what we could say. And honestly, just to disprove them because there was a lot of BS that they put in that show that like everyone caught on to it. Even I caught on to it. It was like, really, y'all? Really? But no, don't hate watch people. I feel like when you do, because then you start getting into those videos of compilations of people saying something for 5 seconds and then it just cuts off. And I don't believe in that. I believe in being able to listen to the full video from start to finish, the full video in its entirety before I have an opinion on it. I don't just take a 5-second clip from somebody saying something that obviously is out of context and then I blow it up and make it seem like that they're saying something different. Like, no. And I think that's the problem with the leftists. I think the leftists don't like that we do that and they do it a lot to us. So that was my point number one. I do watch Matt Walsh and all of the Daily Wire simply because they make sense and the left doesn't. So point number 2, he brought up, y'all, and I shit you not. He said that Tanaya, does not believe that children should have surgeries, right? I don't believe apparently that children should be able to have surgeries. And I thought it was a little bit silly because I'm like, no, that I didn't say that at all. This all came up because we were talking about minors and minors transitioning. And I'm like, no, I believe children should have surgeries if needed. They just don't need a sex change because they're children and they can't consent to that. Don't straw man my argument because I don't like that. I get very frustrated when people do that because it's like, are you playing stupid? Like, dude, I don't like stupidity. I don't know, y'all. There's just something about people acting purposefully stupid that just pisses me off so much. It just makes me so mad because it's like, one, you're trying to straw man me and take anything that I say out of context and put it in some stupid hate compilation or some dumb shit like that and expect me to want to talk to you and have a normal conversation with you when you can't even sit down and actually listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. I said that children should not, but I said that children should not be able to get sex changes because they are minors, okay? If you wouldn't put breast implants in a little girl, I suggest you don't try to chop off some little boy's testicles or try to chop off some little girl's breast. That's just weird, okay? And none of this crap decided to come up until adults started talking about children's bodies in that way. So before anybody get to being like, why are you so concerned about children's bodies? Why are you so concerned about children's bodies? Why are you so concerned about either A, putting breast implants in a little boy, which is so creepy and weird and pedophilic? I personally believe the Democratic Party, I'm telling you, y'all, I have this theory because they're the ones, it's people on the left that's coming up with the whole MAPS, minor attracted people. I believe that there's some freaky deaky stuff going on in the Democratic Party, y'all. It is weird and it is freaky and it's just so creepy to me. But anyway, no, I don't believe minors should undergo sex changes because they are minors. Like I said, if you would not put breast implants in a little boy or a little girl, I suggest you don't try to chop off something that they didn't even get to develop and have, right? When I was 12, that was like 10 years ago. When I was 12, I developed faster than the other girls in my class, right? So I woke up with a pair of C's on my chest and I was confused, right? I was like, I don't know what happened. I was a little bit embarrassed. Everybody else was still, a little bit more flat chested than I was. And I told my parents, I was like, can I get a breast reduction? I just want these gone. Like, I feel weird. And my parents looked at me, cackled in my face, and told me to go do my homework. Yes, a lot of you people might find that like rude or mean or something like that, but that was the kind of tough love I grew up with, and I'm glad I grew up with that kind of tough love because I love my body now. I've not done anything to change it outside of literally working out and eating right. And being 22, almost 23, I'll be 23 next month, with a beautiful 1-year-old baby, I cannot imagine my life without him. I cannot imagine having parents who were crazy enough to allow me to chop off my breast, to allow me to undergo such traumatizing things that will mess up my body for the rest of my life. My parents, like I said, they looked at me, they laughed in my face and told me to go do my homework because they're like, girl, you're 12. You're 12. You'll be fine. This is all new because you're not used to this stuff yet. And eventually it's going to stop and you're going to get used to it. And at the time, I did not believe them because, when you're a kid, you believe your whole world is right then and there. You believe the world is happening to you right then when it's not. Okay, it's just not. And I think people need to start telling these children that, not everything is a life or death sentence. Right? Puberty is not a disease, y'all. It's not a disease. You go through puberty because it's a normal thing that we go through in life. Okay? It's not a disease, and don't try to tell children that it is a disease. It's just how your body develops naturally. And for a bunch of crazy, fringe, radical people on the left to sit here and convince practically the whole entire population, that's what I feel like. But I think the population really much agrees with me. Like, no, leave minors alone. But like trying to convince the entire population that this minors transitioning is okay. It's like trying to convince the population that it's okay to have sex with a minor. It's okay to be a pedophile. No, it's not. That is so weird. If you don't think that it's okay for a child to be doing crack, smoking weed, drinking alcohol, suggest that you don't even think of taking away their body parts, right? Because it's not like that these kids can go back, right? It's not like that these kids can rewind their lives and press play on puberty. No, because life does not work that way. And I told that kid that, right? I told him that. Y'all, when I say the look on his face, it didn't look like he was mad. It didn't look like he was mad at all. He looked like he was heartbroken. Like, I just crushed all of his dreams. Like, you just yelled at a little kid, and you know how they get the sad puppy dog eyes and they just look all heartbroken because you just yelled at them? Yeah, he looked heartbroken. I'm like, yeah, because what do you think? You start puberty at a certain age and then you stop it at a certain age. Like, for me, it went from when I was 12 to 18. Right? So if you get those kids when they 12 years old and they decide like at 22, 23 that they don't want to do that anymore, you just fucked up those kids' lives for the rest of their life. You just sat there and you completely messed up their lives, putting them on puberty blockers and getting them surgeries at the age of 12 because they said they felt a certain type of way. When I was 12, I wanted to be a WWE wrestler. Now I want to be in freaking politics. You can't sit here and trust kids to make decisions like that because they're kids. Right? And that was the main point I wanted to hit on. Minors. They are minors. Why are you so interested in the minors' body parts? I don't know. But you need to cut it the hell out because I'm telling you, I believe it's just some freaky deaky stuff. I believe it's some freaky deaky stuff. Point number 5. He said that my views are a little bit extreme. My views are extreme. My views are extreme. Okay. No. What's extreme is that you believe that children, right, who can't drink alcohol, can't smoke weed or cigarettes, don't have the capacity to consent to sex, can't even rent a car. Need I remind you, I'm 22 years old going on 23 and I still can't rent a car in like most car rental places, okay? I still can't even rent a car because you got to be 25 to be able to rent a car, right? You believe that children should be able to make the sound decision that they should undergo hormone surgery and sex changes. But I'm extreme. I'm extreme because I said, hey, look, kids can't do that because they kids. Leave them alone. Let them grow up and be kids. Okay. But you think that they can, I don't know, change their sex. So I'm extreme in that way. No, I don't think I'm extreme. I'm extreme because I don't like pornography, whether that's straight porn or gay porn being taught in our schools. But for some odd reason, y'all love shoving dildos and condoms in all these kids' faces. And it's like, I'm extreme? How am I extreme when you guys advocate for some of the most outrageous shit, right? Minors sex transitioning, right? If you would not put breast implants in a child, whether that's a little girl or a little boy, I suggest that you do not, point blank period, try to take something away from them, right? That's extreme. Everybody on the left is very, very, very extreme. We just want, kids to be kids to grow up and enjoy their lives as kids and not make such huge, rash, honestly, changes and decisions that you really can't change later in your life if you continue on with that decision. And then point number 4, which I found very silly. He said that my views are extreme. Yeah, no. You know what's extreme? Telling minors that they can have sex changes. Minors who can't even rent a car. I'm 22 years old and I can't rent a car in most car rental places. You're telling minors who can't drink alcohol that they can undergo a sex change. Minors who can't even get a tattoo outside of their parents' consent. You're telling them that they can get a sex change. And I'm extreme. I'm extreme because I want children to be able to grow up and live their lives as children before they hit adulthood. When y'all are shoving gay porn in these kids' faces and dildos and condoms and sex in front of these kids' faces. And I'm extreme. Yeah, no. I ain't extreme. Don't put that bullshit on me because y'all are the ones that want to go after children so damn bad. Like, I would never understand full grown men dressing up as women wanting to read to children. I don't get it. Because guess what? Back in Stonewall days, the gay people back then, they were like, hey, look, we don't want nothing to do with your children. We don't want nothing to do with your children. We just want to love who we love. And then you fast forward to 2023 and you have people right now that want to literally corrupt your children, that literally want to sit here and take your kids because for some reason they either don't want to have kids because they're crazy feminists, or they can't have kids because they sat there and destroyed their bodies with the surgery and the hormones, or they just probably don't even believe in family like that. So these people, their views are way too extreme, and I don't know why you saying mine is, when all I want to do is allow kids to grow up and be kids, and then they can make the decisions they want to make once they hit 18, even though I feel like you're not grown even though you hit 18. But when you 18, at that point, you could practically do whatever you want. You know, if you get arrested, they're not going to call your parents. You fucked pretty much. So, no, my views aren't extreme. I think my views are shared by majority of the population. Majority of the population would agree with me. No, do not sit here and put breast implants in a little boy, and do not sit here and try to take away breasts from a little girl or chop off a little boy's testicles. Because I have a son, and if I had a teacher that ever came to me and was like, well, your son is trans, no, I'm gonna take him out of that school, and then he's gonna be homeschooled, because there's something wrong with you people, right? There's something wrong with you people when you want to continuously bring up sexuality around children and show them sexuality. That is weird and it's disgusting, and I don't give a shit about what anybody says about it. It is weird and it's disgusting, okay? Be better. Point number 5, and it kind of made me mad. He was like, well, I don't understand why you guys say that it's the parents' choice, but when parents want to get their kids transition, then it's not their choice. And I'm like, because it's usually not based on the kid. It's based because these parents obviously want brownie points. It's selfishness. Some parents are selfish like that. And even then, there are doctors, okay, because I've been through this too, just not with the transitioning thing. There are doctors out there who would sit here and tell you to your face, and these trans people on the left cannot lie. They would sit here and tell you to your face, well, if you don't get your kid this, they can possibly kill themselves. What if they kill themselves if you don't get them transitioned? That is so stupid, and that is straight up emotional manipulation, okay? Because guess what? If a wife and a husband got into a fight, right? And the husband just beats the shit out of her. If she escapes and she's like, you know what, I'm leaving you. And he's like, if you leave me, I'm going to kill myself. Don't you think that that's, I don't know, unhealthy? Don't you think that that's a little bit wrong to say? Right? Of course it's wrong to say. Of course that is unhealthy. Of course that doesn't make sense to say something like that. So why do you think doctors have the right to say that? That's not cool at all. And like I said, I've been through this before. I've never gotten a flu shot ever in my life until I was like maybe 17. And the only reason why I got it is because the doctor emotionally manipulated my mom. Well, she can get really sick. If she gets really sick, she can be in a hospital and she could possibly die. They emotionally manipulated my mom into me getting the shot, right? So I got the shot and I've been sick more often ever since. Of course, we don't trust the medical industry because all they want to do is make money off of you, right? And I find it a little bit weird. Like, why have a flu shot and not like, I don't know, a herpes shot or an AIDS shot, right? We have the polio, right? We have HPV, but we don't have anything to help. Yeah, that's besides the point. Again, another video. But I just thought it was a little bit weird because I'm like, no, doctors emotionally manipulate parents into making decisions. And you have to really find a good doctor, right? Because I found a really good doctor, pediatrician pretty much for my son. And that doctor was totally okay with my concerns, totally okay with like, you know what, if you don't want him to get these shots right now, he really don't have to. And you can actually sign this religious consent form, which is really good because I've been very skeptical about vaccines. I've had, like I said, twice, or once was with the flu shot, but another one, I got a DTaP shot. And I grew like this giant lymph node on my neck. And I had to go and see if it was cancerous or not. So yeah, I don't trust the medical industry. I don't believe that doctors have their patients' best interest in mind, especially nowadays. I don't believe that they have their best interest in mind. And a lot of these doctors are willing to lie for political gain. A lot of these doctors, I feel like, will be willing to kill off somebody. And that's why I feel like at first I wanted to be a doctor, but I just grew to not like it because I feel like it's like being a teacher. Everything is just corrupt. Everything is just in the left. And doctors, you can't really find really good doctors anymore. So yeah, don't allow people, if you're a parent, don't allow a doctor to emotionally manipulate you into making a decision, right? You are the parent. You know that child better than anybody else, right? I know my child when he's crying, if he needs something, if he's hungry, if he just wants attention, right? Or if he hurt himself. I know my child better than anyone on this planet knows my child. So it's like, don't allow these doctors simply because they have degrees. Remember, these same people who have degrees also believe that men and women don't exist. They don't believe that men and women have anything different from each other. This is how you know you shouldn't learn from them, right? If I ask somebody, if I ask to have a math tutor and I ask them what's 2 plus 2 and they say 7, but I need help in like trigonometry, I'm not going to ask them for help, because if you don't know the basics, why should I ask you for help on something higher? Right? So yeah, parents, please don't allow these doctors to emotionally manipulate you into getting your child something that you believe in your heart and soul that you don't think they need. There have been tons of children who did not get vaccinated, period, and grow up to live long, healthy, strong lives, right? They haven't been vaccinated with anything that our parents were vaccinated with or that our grandparents were vaccinated with, and they still grow up to live long, healthy, great lives. So don't allow these doctors to try to trick you or try to dupe you out of your child, because they will do that. And no matter what, even though if it is, medical, it's still a business. They still got to sell you something. They still got to make their money somehow. Another point I really wanted to hit on, because I said that, only women can give birth and only women can get pregnant. He was like, well, what about the women who can't get pregnant or can't give birth? Well, what about them? What about your grandmother, right? Your grandmama ain't popping out babies now, is she? Is she? Does that make her a man? No, because the last time I checked, only women go through like postmenopausal things. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just outdated. But last time I checked, only women ever go through postmenopausal things. I never heard of a man going through postmenopausal things, right? And need I remind you, a woman could still receive a uterus transplant and still get pregnant and still give birth, right? Because her body won't look at that uterus as a threat. Her body saw that uterus and was like, okay, you're supposed to be here and you're supposed to work. But there has been a story where they tried to put a uterus in a man. 1931, Lily Elbe, Lilielbe, 1931. They tried to put a uterus in this man, and you know what happened? 2 months later, this man died. Why? His immune system went haywire. Why is this organ inside of me right now? That's pretty much what his immune system was asking. Like, we don't know what the hell this thing is, and we need to attack it, and we got to go kill it. That's why they don't put uteri. That's why they don't put uteri in men anymore, because the last time it happened, it killed off somebody. Because guess what? It's not that easy. It's just not that easy. In order for a man to get pregnant, do you realize you have to literally rewire veins? That's how deep it is. And you can't just replicate that from surgery and going on hormones for a few years. You cannot replicate that. You will never, ever be what I am, or what your mother is, or what your sister is, or what your female friends is, right? Because they sat there and they put this healthy organ inside of a man and destroyed that organ, when another woman who couldn't get pregnant, probably because she had a hysterectomy, her body's just not working right and it's not fair to her. But no, what y'all decided to do was play God, right? What they decided to do at the time was, hey, we're going to play God at one point and we're going to put this uterus in a man and let's see what happens. And he died. And that's what I don't get about these trans people, because they don't, or these transporters, trans allies, or anything like that, because it's like, do you realize that the suicide rates among these people are super high? Like, do you not realize that? Do you not realize that women are not, on a mass scale, are not okay with this? Just you literally doing woman face. Like, if a white girl came up to me, painted her face black, and she was like, hey, look, I'm a black woman now, I'm gonna be a little bit confused. I'm gonna be a little bit offended. But am I surprised? No, because these people genuinely think men could get pregnant, right? They made this societal bed. Now they have to lay in it. And I think it's kind of silly that you would sit here and say that, like, well, women who can't give birth are men, because they're not. Because guess what? She could still receive a uterus transplant and possibly get pregnant and possibly give birth, and it all be good and go fine. That man cannot. Why? Say it a little louder for the people in the back. Because he's a man. He's a man. Oh, y'all. Oh, sorry, y'all. It is hot, but that will be the end of the video. I just want people to know, okay? if you're not willing to sit down and listen to what somebody has to say, especially from start to finish, then you will never learn. And I know a lot of people, I know some people are really going to take this out of context. I know there are going to be some crazy, fringe, insane people in the comments that'll be like, well, you just hate trans people. You're transphobic, yada, yada, yada. Y'all, those name calling, that bullshit, name calling doesn't harm me at all. You only do it because it'll hurt your feelings if somebody were to call you that. And I'm just not as sensitive as you. Like I said, I'm just not in that realm. Okay. We are not on the same page. I'm on page 96 and you're on page 7. Let's get on the same page, right? So yeah, that will be the end of today's video. I hope to upload more. Let me know what you guys would like to hear about, because I'm wanting to talk about Prince Harry and Crazy Meghan. I like to call him Punk Harry and Crazy Meghan. I want to talk about just what's going on in our culture, what's going on in politics, and everything like that. So leave comments on certain things you would like to hear about. You would want to hear my opinion about. You want me to watch anything like that. And thank you for joining me today. Have a good day, y'all.